Hello, Hornets and friends. Welcome back to DESU Radio, The Nest. I am your station manager and host, Xamara Coleman, and today I am so excited to interview in the midst of election season, President Obama, President Joe Biden, and actually, y'all, these are the actors that play them in the hit musical 44, the unofficial, unsanctioned Obama musical, as told through the hazy recollection of Joe Biden. Can Mr. Obama please introduce himself?
Yes, this is Barack Obama, and it's an honor to be your president, an honor to be here with you at Delaware State. No, this is TJ Wilkins. How you doing?
See you. And can Mr. Biden please introduce himself?
Hey,
Hey.
I'm Joe Biden.
Oh wow, that was like on point. I really thought the Zoom froze, but thank you both for being here today. I
My
have some questions to get you to know you both more, especially, for some students who may not really know about this musical and whatnot. So let's dive in. I'm gonna start with our Mr. Barack, TJ. So let's do a little history. You were part of The Voice. So being a part of The Voice is a big achievement. And then being a part of Team Usher had to have you being starstruck bad. So how did you adjust to all the attention and pressure of succeeding?
Oh my, it was definitely a task because doing a show like The Voice, where you go from being in total obscurity to being recognized, on a national and international level, is a bit mind-boggling. But for me, it's never just about like being famous. It's about doing what I love to do, and so the opportunity to work with Usher, who I idolized my entire career, was a great joy, and I learned so much from him. And the voice is what propelled me to get here today, to be on the radio talking to you today. So very very thankful for that.
Yes, that is so great to hear. And yes, you have been on the stage multiple times. So can you speak a little bit actually about your transition from performing on stage with folk like Usher, Stevie Wonder, and Beyonce to Broadway? And like, what was the biggest difference that you've seen between the two?
Oh, the biggest difference that I saw between the two was that with Broadway acting or just acting, musical theater in general, you have to use all of your faculties. Your storytelling, not only through song but also through dialogue, and being able to trust your co-stars and your fellow actors to really tell a great story. That's probably been the biggest adjustment. Because when being on a performer on stage, as a recording artist, a lot of times you can rely on certain skills and certain things to kind of push you through. But it's different when you have to rely on your teammates who are in the trenches with you on stage. So that's probably been like the biggest adjustment.
Oh wow, the trenches of on stage, right? That just kind of like leads me into my next question with you playing this character, right? Like, what is your favorite part, and like, how do you make sure you really encapsulate the character of Barack Obama?
Oh well, my favorite part about playing President Obama is that I just get to be cool, and I would say that it's the bromance between he and President Biden that really is fun because the, as Chad can explain, the President Joe Biden character is insane in the best way possible, and so for me to be the guy that plays it cool all the time is really fun. Where in real life I'm very much silly and uh, wild at times, but to be able to just be cool, be the straight man, in comedy is real cool.
That's so great to hear. And yes, I like how you touched on the importance of the Biden character as well. So, Chad, actually, like, I wanted to ask you to be frank, 3 decades of work is about a decade more than I've been alive. But with such an impressive resume, right? What about the musical 44 stuck out to you to really audition?
um well, it wasn't actually an audition process. On this one, the we TJ and I both started at the very, very beginning of this musical. Casting director in Los Angeles reached out to me. They were doing just a reading of it. They were doing a very, very kind of like the very beginning of how you start a musical is you just get some actors together, they learn the music, and you just do a reading and you see how the reading goes. And so there wasn't an audition process. I was actually playing the character Mitt Romney, who, at one point was running for president on the Republican Party. And then, but the show was like 4 hours long. And so, through a process of wonderful editing by our brilliant, brilliant writer director Eli Bauman, we have trimmed the show tremendously. So it's about 2 hours now. But Mitt Romney, unfortunately, didn't make it past the cutting room floor. But through a really wonderful and just was a serendipitous turn of events, I was asked to play Joe Biden, who I thought it was funny playing Joe Biden, and I'm a solid 30 years too young to do it. But they wrote in one like joke about what's going on. It's the story told through Joe's memory, so he can look however the hell he wants in his memory, and we're off to the races from there. And so, but to answer your question more succinctly, the reason I took this, I stay with this job, the reason I believe in this show, and the reason that I intend to stay with this show is because not only is the writing brilliant, and I don't say that lightly, I've never been in a musical where the songs and rhyme scheme and just imagination was so perfect. These are like brilliant, brilliant songs. Never been in a show that had this level of craftsmanship in it. And I believe in the message of the show as well. Every night, people leave this theater levitating. They are elated. They're hopeful about the future. They're remembering what we have accomplished in our past. And that's why we're here in Philly to send audiences into the streets with that to get people excited about what's going on today in our political landscape.
Wow. Levitating is just a powerful word, right? And I'm so excited because I'm actually gonna see the show soon, but
You're in for a treat.
I'm really excited. So
Oh, come on down.
I'll be up there, right? Don't have me singing now. I have to cast me. But so also, Chad, you are from the city of stars, Los Angeles, and was surrounded by many influences that most can't dream to be near. So did you know that like you were kind of always destined to be in this position or for greatness? Like, did you think you would get this far when you first were like,
I'm not sure I'm destined for greatness, but TJ and I joke all the time because we both started really, 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 really young. And I laugh at him because I go, I think our parents were like grooming us because
oh wow.
because like on a Joe Jackson tip, because
Yeah.
because like we were both in like acting classes and singing classes and dance classes at like young ages.
Yeah.
And our parents really, really put their foot in it to give us the opportunity to achieve what we wanted for our dreams. So yeah, I mean, I started when I was very young. I was my first like union job when I joined the union at 8 years old, I think. Maybe six, maybe eight. I think it was eight. And I've worked with legends throughout my career. Fortunately, I'm not as famous as any of them, or as famous as whatever, not famous at all, but I've had the opportunity to work with so many. And so like, yeah, I think that both TJ and I had a dream from a very young age, and we had to call it a great fortune is an understatement to say that we had a support system to guide us along the way.
And that's wonderful. It's all about, the support and how you start and the drive. Because I mean, anyone can have those resources, right? But like, what pushed you and continued you, right?
Yeah, we're very lucky, and it doesn't mean that you have to start young to be successful. It just was very fortunate. I do know a lot of people who wanted to, and their family wouldn't let them, and eventually they make their way onto the stage. But we're fortunate that we never had to go through that struggle.
I know that's right. And another question pertaining to the show, what's one piece of history you learned actually that you didn't know before?
Oh God, um, this is a tough one. Let me think. Um,
As he
that's
was Mitt Romney and Biden, just so much, just with those two names in itself, right?
Look. So I mean, this show's a satire, right? So the show is comedic, and we're not doing this really reverent version of the Obama presidency, where a lot of the stuff that goes on is made up in Joe Biden's hazy recollection. There's robots that work at Fox News, and there's I don't know, there's a people rap, Mitt,
Mitch
what's his
McConnell
name,
and Ted Cruz
Ted
got
Cruz.
bars.
That's a good one. I knew that Ted Cruz had done a filibuster at one point, and I knew that he had read Dr. Seuss in that filibuster, but I didn't know he read Green Eggs and Ham in its entirety
Yeah.
to the entire U.S. Senate
Oh, wow.
as his filibuster. And I'm like, all right, like if you got a filibuster, that's a good way to do it. But it was a pretty ridiculous thing. I remember when, Dr. Seuss kind of got canceled as well, but this is that was a pretty ridiculous thing that is so unbelievable that it feels like the writer wrote it up, made it up, but it was actual history.
Yeah, and it's those small things. It's life. Not everything has to be so serious. Like
Yeah.
that's hilarious to me, honestly.
Yeah.
And it humanizes them too. So like even my last question for both of y'all really is, do you think that this type of musical, even though satire is able to attract a larger audience of people who may not be into politics, young or old, because this is honestly just a potential issue for all age groups, maybe even too. Like they see the word Barack or Fort President, they're
Yeah.
like, news,
Yeah.
but that's not
Yeah.
something I'm interested in.
Yeah. I would say that we're in a great position with the show because it is a satire. So we're able to use humor to disarm everybody. Politics and the subject thereof has a tendency to sometimes be more divisive and more off-putting than it is, inclusive and all of the good stuff that we love, about America. And so, our job as artists, and especially with this show, is not to tell anybody who to vote for or who not to vote for, or anything of that nature. More than anything, what we're here to do is to inspire us all to believe in the vision of what America could be. I think about our country and how, you know, we all come from different walks of life, different socioeconomic backgrounds, ethnicities, cultures, customs, what have you. And I think that's what makes this country really dope. And this musical is a celebration of that. It's a mirror to us all to say, hey, look, we're different. Like, I might vote and believe a certain thing differently than what you do, but you know what? We're here to celebrate you, celebrate each other rather than vilify each other, for our differences. And so that's the one of the joys of being a part of this show, and the responsibility that we have as this production. So I hope that answers your question. Got on my soapbox a little bit, but
Wait,
Yeah.
can you repeat the question one more time so we
yeah,
can we
yes,
want to
Yeah,
we
I
want
got
to we want to proofread TJ's answer there.
right.
okay. So basically, I was just saying was this, even though this is a satire, like, do you believe
Mhm.
this is able to appease to a bigger audience that may not, really look at politics? And even though this is like a musical, right? Like, are you
Mhm.
able to grab that attention, maybe make people more concerned, even though you're not specifically talking about who to vote for or whatever
Yeah.
the case may
Right.
be?
Do you feel you answered that too well, TJ?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I can
I
I
think
can
I
live.
think you did too. I'm not gonna lie.
Look, all right, I'll tell you a little bit. Is that my dad is a staunch Republican, and he has come to see the show, I don't know, 4 or 5 times. He laughs. Um, definitely, like TJ said, humor has the opportunity to bring us together. Definitely, the show is a bit of a love letter toward Obama. But one of the things that I think really happens in this is we get to look at ourselves and kind of understand the ridiculousness of the political system.
Yeah.
There's a lot of mention of Obama wearing a tan suit in this play. And I don't know if you were alive or conscious during the Obama administration, but he wore a tan suit. And that was a news cycle for
Oh my
days.
goodness.
And so it's like good to keep that into consideration during today's world where we have these new outrageous headlines about these things that in a week will be irrelevant,
Mm,
but we're news cycles. And like for it to be something as ridiculous as wearing a suit color
yeah.
is where the satire takes place, right? And so like here we are today, every day it's something new. This person did something ridiculous, that person did something slightly stupid or said something slightly stupid, and it's all it is fueling the monster. And so it's kind of a reminder that that's that's the nature of the beast. And so we're out here trying to entertain people and be like, you know what? There's a bigger picture here, folks. We got to remember the bigger picture,
Wow.
no
Okay.
matter who you are.
No matter who you are.
Precisely.
Exactly. Wow. Okay. For a comedy satire, that was really deep, y'all. Honestly, you're gonna have to sit down and think about that. Probably when I go in there, I'm gonna be like looking at it really inquisitively, but I'm gonna laugh. I'm gonna
No,
laugh.
you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. Let me tell
Uh,
you something.
Just that type of
Let me tell you
person.
something. When these people open their mouths and start to sing, not me,
Hmm.
the other people, when they
him
open
too.
their mouth,
Him too. Don't let him lie
Don't
to
let
you.
him
Him
sing.
too.
when
Him
they
too.
open their mouths and start to sing, first of all, you're going to grab the sides of your chair and you're going to be like, oh my God, where am I? And then you're just going to be laughing your head off for a solid hour and 50 minutes. And then you're going to leave the theater and say, like, that was really fun. And then a week later, you're going to be like, but you know what? They were really right when they said XYZ.
Oh my. Okay. I'm really
Absolutely.
excited now. Oh
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
I want to thank you guys again for taking this time to interview with the Nest. Very excited. We'll recommend everybody to come and watch the show whenever you come around again. And yeah, thank you again. This
Thank
is
you.
Mara,
Thank
the
you. All
host,
right.
and our lovely guests. Well,
Chad Dorek.
TJ Wilkins.
yes, thank you. And we
We
are
look forward to
signing
seeing you at the
off.
show.
Yes. Looking
Yes.
forward to it.
Signing off. Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.